right now. So I am really sorry for the delay. Looks like it's not the GSL or the GSTL only having some technical issues from time to time. This just happens. Unfortunately, it happened today. Hopefully next time this will not happen once again. It is Cast against Cuba, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. And Cuba is spawning this time as the green Zerg here on Steps of War in the bottom right location, and we have Cast as the yellow Terran in the top right location. And Cuba, of course, he's not a Protoss player, he is a Zerg player, and once again Cast is having issues with his internet connection. He cannot micro his units the way he wants to micro those. And to be honest, my personal opinion is, even though I don't know it 100%, I think it's a server client based system now with the Battle.net 2.0, because Battle.net is hosting the games and not the player hosting the games anymore, like it was in the past. For example, Warcraft 1. I played Warcraft 1 online once. Who can say that? But Warcraft 1 was a little bit imbalanced. Those ogre mages, they just boom, they had the power. Anyway, let's focus a little bit on this game. So cars are walling off here at the front. Of course, you want to wall off the front as fast as possible. You want to scout very fast. You want to watch out what's going on, because if the Zerg player decides to go for a 12 drone rush, not looking good. I mean, I tried this only twice. At first, I just messed up my timing and it was way too late. And the second time I went in there, I just didn't micro my drones correctly. But a 12 drone rush on Steps of War against the Terran is absolutely a viable strategy to go for. And interesting choice by Cuba. He is putting up his hatchery not at first, but relatively early. At the 3 minute mark, going for the hatchery is quite an accomplishment. But on the other hand, because of the fact that Kaz got the refinery out already, he's not going to do a double barracks opening, but he's doing something really interesting. He sees, okay, he's just saw the hatchery, so he decided two things. The first thing he decided is to go for the second barracks, and because he knew that he won't get attacked anytime soon, after having this one marine out, he decided to go for the reactor. So now he will be very soon be able to produce 3 marines at once, and with those 3 marines every 25 seconds, he will be able to apply quite some pressure. The question, of course, in the end will be how much pressure, and if and when he will be going for an attack. So we see what attack lap here on the second barracks. Of course, a decision someone can understand, because you want to have the stim, you want to have the combat shield out quite fast, but because of the decision of Cast to go for this tech lab here, he's delaying the marine or the marauder production in this case a little bit longer. So Cuba, he is safe now for the moment, so he does not have to fear any attacks anytime soon, because otherwise the attack already would have happened. So now he's going for the spine crawler at the front. Let's take a look at the harvest account. There we see he is already in the lead. 22 drones over 21, producing constantly more and more drones. There we saw 5 drones in production. And in the last game we saw where Kaz wanted to go for some push here with the 3 barracks marine marauder style, Cuba was doing a great job with not very much, and once again he is going for the baneling's nest. There we see the spine quarter just finished the baneling's nest. Here it is, and putting out more zerglings. How many drones does he have in total? So 29 drones. To go for some non-stop baneling zergling aggression out of 2 bays, I think 29 drones are even enough. If you constantly inject the lava here on the hatcheries, you should be able to do just fine. Or, of course, fully saturate your natural and your main, and then just build up another in-base hatchery, so you can produce even more. Of course, it takes a little bit more time to get your effective units out. And how about the stim upgrade? This time the stim will be finished in another 60 seconds, so 1 minute to go. He's got quite a lot of marines. He's got a couple of Marauders there, and someone is getting 9 banelings. Here are the banelings. He's not morphing in those banelings directly at the front. Kaz might be moving out this time. Yes, he is. He's got a siege tank in production. He's got the siege mode in research. There we go with the stim pack, and the stim pack will be finished in 25 seconds. He just moved down the ramp, maybe spotted the Zergling or an overload there. On the other hand, Cuba is just getting more of everything, and by everything I just mean Zerglings and not everything else. Cuba's got still those 9 banelings out, quite a lot of Zerglings actually. Let's take a look at the unit counting station. 29 Zerglings, 9 banelings, 2 Queens, and that's about it. On the other hand, we have the 15 Marines, 1 Siege Tank and 4 Marauders now moving out, and this is not looking too good for Cuba here. First Siege Tank is sieged up, there are the banelings, and it is only 1 baneling left now. This baneling will go down as well, all the Marines alive, and this is how you do it. Looks like Kaz not having too many legs right now. He was able to just stay alive with all of his Marines. Maybe a scan would be nice. Take out this Creep Doomer, take out this Overlord, and take out the Spine Crawler as well. Spine Crawler didn't do a thing right now. And there are just more reinforcements coming in. Zerglings surrounding not only the Marauder but also the siege tanks, and 1 siege tank is down and the other siege tank is now getting surrounded by the Zerglings here. Second siege tank goes down as well. And big mistake by Cuba. He was running away with his last 2 Zerglings, and in this time he just needed to do 1 more hit. So big mistake by Cuba, because now the siege tank is still alive. The only thing he can do right now maybe is move there with the Queen to take out this siege tank, and indeed he is doing this. And but the siege tank got repaired. There was a SCV. I was not paying attention to the SCV, and I just thought, okay, the Queen is attacking. Why is this tank still alive? Is it actually getting repaired? And yes, indeed, Sergeant Teet's tank here at 13 kills. The other recruit siege tank just arrived freshly trained from the academy. There are so many more Marines, and he's just constantly producing more what? More bunkers, and we still don't see a scan. Just imagine a scan. Getting rid of this Creep Tumor would help Kaz out so much. Kaz is morphing, Cuba is morphing in 6 more banelings. He's out of 45 Zerglings actually. Marauders doing a good job taking out this Spine Crawler, and Siege Tank push continues here by Kaz. And of course, the more time you give your opponent to do some damage, the better it will be. Now the banelings did quite a nice job. They killed all the Marines here. At this bunker there are some Zerglings on the ground. Now this time he is getting rid of this Siege Tank. So actually Cuba is still hanging in there. The same amount of harvest is the same, and I'm not sure why Kaz is not going for the classic siege tank drop, which is sieging up with your siege tanks in this area here on the low ground, having a floating barracks, a Viking, or constant scanning to maintain vision here for the siege tank. So I'm not really sure if I like where this is going by Kaz, especially considering that Kaz is still on 1 base, and now he can't complain about lag because he microed his units quite well. I mean, maybe he could have microed his units even better, especially those Marines dying here next to this bunker, but in the end, not so sure where this is going, if I like the decision making we see here by Kaz. And by the way, absolutely worst possible Zergling and banding micro by Cuba, because he just was moving out and he decided, oh, okay, we're taking the siege tank, and then he decided, oh no, I need to attack the other siege tank. Should I go level for the 30? I don't know. And then half of his army were already gone before I actually tried to started to attack something. So Zerglings more moving in, bunkers get taken out, Marines are moving away. So this is not looking good for Kaz right now. And Kaz saying this is so ruffle. And game was totally over. And I think the game was not totally over, but I think the game was in favor for Kaz. But in the end he was not able to pull it off. But with all those Marines standing next to the bunker, indeed, they were waiting for 1 baneling, and this 1 baneling or 2 banelings were actually quite successful. So now more banelings coming in. busting the front open. Tank is sieged up. It is already too late for this tank to do some serious damage. And there we see the GG and Cars pausing the game excellently. Now he left the game, so Cuba is up 2-0. And in this best of 5 series, Cuba only needs to win one more game to take home the 50 euros headset or a power supply unit. And all the stuff is worth more than $100, so not a bad trade. It's not a trade. Okay, he trades his Competo Cup victory for some cash and for some prizes as well. So let me check if I will be able to join the lobby right away. I do not want to miss it.